All right, thank you again for joining our MCB virtual information session today to talk about assistive technology programs available via our MCB stakeholder partners. And Deputy Commissioner John Oliveira is going to be moderating today's event, along with our Region 3 Director Thelma Williams, who will be moderating the Q&A portion of today's event. Deputy Commissioner John Oliveira is responsible for managing our state and federal budget at MCB. He was appointed to his current position as Deputy Commissioner in December 2013 and has been employed with MCB since 1987. He has been with us for almost 34 years and held various positions within the agency. Deputy Commissioner Oliveira, thank you for moderating and hosting for us today. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started.
Thank you, Carla, and good afternoon, everyone. As Carla already gave you my name, so we don't have to go through that again. But thank you all for joining, and looking forward to a very information-packed presentation here. So today we are joined by our advocacy partners to discuss programs available through MCB stakeholders that increase independence and self-determination. At MCB, we recognize technology access and training is important for our community to learn to live independently. We hope that our programs are a good fit for you, and we are proud to support you in any of these programs you choose to participate in. And as you connect with our partners, we hope that you Was I on, Carla?
John, you were muted, unfortunately, but we just missed the tail end of your last part of your speaking.
It's all right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm John Oliveira, Deputy Commissioner at the Massachusetts Commission for the Blind. I'd like to thank you all for attending today. And we are joined by our advocacy partners to discuss programs available through our stakeholders that increase independence and self-determination. At MCB, we recognize that technology access and training is important for our community to learn to live independently. We hope that these programs are a good fit for you, and we are proud to support you and as you connect with the partners so that you can adopt new skills and techniques. So I'd like to thank David Kingsbury from the Bay State Council of the Blind and Shara Winton from the National Federation of the Blind of Massachusetts for your leadership and assistance in bringing this virtual session to our community today. I'd like to thank you all for your participation and investment in our mission at MCB. So we're going to talk to David Kingsbury and Shara.
Yes.
But ladies first. So we're going to go with Shara Winton from NFB to tell you a bit about how they were involved in bringing this presentation to you. Shara?
Oh, Shara, I believe you are muted as well. So if you could just restart, that would be great.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Okay, I'm so sorry about that.
Sure.
So, good morning, everyone, and thank you, John. Thank you for that. I am Shara Winton I'm the president of the National Federation of the Blind of Massachusetts. I have been for almost 1 year so far. And at the NFB, we're the largest organization run for and by blind people in the United States. We began in 1940. I'm new to Massachusetts, and I'm not exactly sure when we started in Massachusetts, but I think it was pretty close to that 1940 date. Massachusetts is a great place to be if losing your vision is happening, or if you have no vision. It is really a wonderful place to be. We know at the NFB that the biggest obstacle between us and reaching independence and reaching our dreams are the low expectations of others. So we work really hard every day to raise those expectations. We do things like last week, we went to Washington Seminar, we call it Washington Seminar, to make changes with the legislation. Each week we have a check-in meeting for existing members or new members to check in and help people to find resources and to give that moral support that we need to give each other when we're losing sight, or even if we've been blind all of our lives. Sometimes it's just nice to have that check-in with other people who know exactly what you're going through. We have 3 chapters in the state. We have the Cambridge chapter, we have the Springfield chapter, and we have the at-large chapter. So currently, because of the pandemic, all of them are meeting via Zoom, but typically our Springfield and Cambridge chapters meet in person. And
Shara, we lost you again, Shara. Sorry about that.
Audio now unmuted.
We hear you. We hear John's. Okay.
All right, Shara. We're just waiting for Shara to.
okay, can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that's very interesting because I didn't touch anything, so I don't know how that happened.
No worries.
So where did you leave off? Where did I leave off? Were you guys hearing me?
Oh, it's about the chapters. Go ahead and
Okay.
start there.
All right, so we have 3 chapters. We have the Springfield chapter, and we have the Cambridge chapter, and we have an at-large chapter. Currently, all of the chapters are meeting via Zoom. However, we will always have the large chapter that will continue meeting that way for anybody who cannot attend meetings in person. And we are right now forming a parents group for parents of blind children or blind parents who are raising children. So that is the NFB of Massachusetts. We would love for you to come to our convention, which is coming up beginning March 31st. It's going to be a hybrid convention. It will be partially in person and partially via Zoom, or you can do it totally one way or the other if that's your wish. So that's March 31st through April 3rd. And every Thursday night is our meetings, our check-in meetings. Thursday, the second Monday of each month is the Cambridge chapter meeting. The 3rd Wednesday of each month is the Springfield chapter meeting, and the second Sunday, they just changed it. The second Sunday of each month is our at-large chapter meetings. We would love to have all of you at any of these events, anytime, and to be there for each other. With love, hope, and determination, we can make blindness not the characteristic that holds us back.
Thank you very much, Shara. And David Kingsbury from Bay State Council of the Blind, over to you.
Thank you, John. You hear me all right?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Sounds like we have some technology gremlins today. First, let me thank you, John. Let me also thank Commissioner Darkangelo for supporting the idea of doing this event today, as well as communications guru Carla, Kath. You've done a really great job of marshaling all these resources, getting everybody together. So again, thank you for that. So the Bay State Council of the Blind is the state affiliate of the American Council of the Blind. That is the other member organization of the blind that's national. ACB has been around since, I think, 1961. Bay State Council of the Blind, we have about 200 members around the state. We also have a number of chapters. We have 6 chapters, 4 geographic ones, Boston, South Shore, Central Massachusetts, which, around the Worcester area. Chapter we call Charles River chapter, which is the western suburbs. We're hoping to start a western chapter around Springfield. That's a project for this year. And we have a couple of special interest chapters. Guide dog users of Massachusetts for guide dog users. And then also a student chapter for younger folks who are students. We do a number of different activities. Advocacy is one of our central activities for sure. It is soon going to be springtime, which means the flowers will come out, the birds will start chirping, and it will be budget time on Beacon Hill. And an annual activity is for us to advocate for, for either increased resources,
Echo, stop.
Or, constant resources.
Echo, stop.
For the Mass Commission for the Blind. we advocated, for example, for increased funding for the activity we're talking about today, the social rehab program. And fortunately, we were successful. When I say we, Bay State Council, but other entities too, like NFB of Massachusetts, to successfully advocate for the resources for the social rehab program. Just to give you a flavor of other advocacy activities we've done. Very important, last year we joined with the Disability Law Center with the city of Boston to introduce accessible mail-in voting or accessible voting by internet, using essentially the same technology that the overseas military uses. And we want to continue advocating for that this year so that becomes statewide. We were successful in getting that introduced in a number of cities around the state, including Boston, Watertown, Cambridge, Worcester, Springfield, and a number of others. Another activity we've been engaged in, a national activity, but with strong leadership from our own members, is in accessible entertainment. Those of you who have Netflix accounts or Hulu accounts or HBO Max accounts may be aware that there's audio description that's been introduced there. That wasn't out of the goodness of the souls of those corporations, but that was with strong legal action taken by our national members as well as some of our locals. And the plaintiffs in a local court case were some folks that some of you may know, Brian Charlson and Kim Charlson, of course, who's the head of the Perkins Library. So those are just a few of the advocacy areas that we've worked in. BSCB believes strongly in communications, and we have a number of ways that we communicate with our members as well as with other people in the blindness community. We have an audio broadcast called Council Connection that has been operating for about 15 years. That is first broadcast on the Talking Information Center, the radio, and it's also a podcast. We have a monthly newsletter called Baylines Express. I edited it for a number of years, but that's now being edited by somebody else. So that's another way that we communicate with each other. We have something that we started up about a year ago called Third Thursdays with the BSCB. And that is on the third Thursday of the month, that will be tomorrow evening, and a 1-hour Zoom call at 8 o'clock. And tomorrow's topic is going to be all things membership. So if you want to learn a little bit about what it's like to be a member of BSCB or maybe become a member yourself, you could perhaps come to that. We've done a number of different, talked about a number of different topics there. As Shara said, NFB of Massachusetts has an annual convention. We also have one. We're going to be having ours virtually. It's not going to be mixed, but this year we're doing it virtually. That will be April 30th and May 1st. And there too, everybody is invited to attend, and we'd love you all to attend that. It's a good way to find out a bit more about what the organization does. We also have fun activities. We have a social committee, and our next social activity is going to be on March 26th. That is a Saturday, 1 o'clock. And we're going to have what we call a story slam, where our members are going to get on and just tell interesting stories, hopefully amusing ones, interesting ones, adventurous ones, etc. We did that 3 or 4 years ago, and that was a big hit. That also will be virtual. So that's a little bit of a flavor of what BSCB does. Let me just say one other quick thing about the social rehab program itself. My day job is as an assistive technology instructor at the Carroll Center, which is one of the service providers for the social rehab program. When that started up 2 or 3 years ago, I became a really strong believer in it because I saw firsthand the potential impact of that, primarily with seniors. With just a few hours of training, folks who maybe have recently lost a good amount of their vision, can sort of get back up on their feet again, learning, how to use the iPhone with voiceover, or learning JAWS or some other technologies. And so I really am a big fan of this program. I just think that its bang for the buck is really quite substantial. So that's one reason why I was really interested in us having this session today, to get the word out to more people, because it really is a great program. So I'll stop right there. And again, thank you all for coming. Again, thanks to the MCB staff for organizing. And well, let's hear from the service providers now. Thank you.
David, thank you very much. And thank you for all your comments there. And so the next session, and I want to make sure that since we had that technical glitch at the beginning, that Commissioner D'Arcangelo would love to have been here with us today and was planning on it, but he's not with us because of a death in the family. So we wish the best to Commissioner and his family, and he'll be joining us on your next event here, if all things permitting. So let me talk a bit about the earmark. It's been mentioned a couple of times how this funding came to MCB via advocacy. That was done by the community and by the stakeholders. Lots of folks seem to participate in that. MCB is not allowed to lobby or those sort of activities. So this is totally a advocacy driven effort that MCB was given the earmarks by the legislators. And so the charge was to provide independent living social services, assistive technology training, and technology to individuals who are blind and legally blind here in Massachusetts. So since the amount of money was a large amount of money, we put out what's called a request for response, an RFR, which outlines what the agency is looking to do based on the guidelines from the earmarks, earmark language. So we proceeded to put that out. Bidders were notified, and through combis and through other vehicles that allow vendors to know that there's a request for response available from state agencies, in this case ours. So we received responses. We brought a committee together to evaluate those responses, and we determined that all of the vendors in the response pool had a variety of different services to offer, but none of them were able to offer services statewide. So we decided to sort of break up the portions of the money with and allocate different pots of money to different vendors, saying that we have total coverage now. So we are serving clients in southeastern Massachusetts. We're serving clients in Western Mass. We're serving clients in Boston. Obviously, we're serving clients in the North Shore, in Central Mass. So the 5 vendors that were selected were able to provide that type of coverage, so that sometimes you hear, well, the Boston consumers or people who live around the big city always get more than what everyone else gets. Well, we designed it so that all of our consumers across the state would be able to access these services. So the process went through. We had a conference with all of the vendors. They all agreed that this was a great option, and they all were happy with the amounts of revenue that were allocated to them based on the proposals that they had submitted. So then there begins the services. So you can get independent living services, you can get assistive technology training. We're also providing technology to support those training requests. And we'll hear from our vendors today to talk about the different opportunities that they have at their program. So we're first going to go to the Carroll Center for the Blind. Dina Rosenbaum will be presenting for CCB.
Thank you, John. Very happy to be here with everybody today, and what a great participation. I first want to give a plug for David Kingsbury. David is an assistive technology instructor at the Carroll Center, but he has just published his second technology book called The Window Screen Reader Primer, All the Basics and More. David is doing a book launch tomorrow at noontime, and if you are not already registered, you can go to carroll.org to register for that event. Everybody who attends and registers for that event will get a free copy of the book before it's released. It will remain free for people, but you will kind of be the first ones to get one. So if you're a JAWS user, NVDA user, trying to increase your skills with technology, I strongly encourage you to attend his launch tomorrow and get a copy of his book. So thank you all. So what the Carroll Center is most excited about this earmark in funding for SR clients is not just the ability to get technology training and advance your skills and become more independent in the use of your cell phone or computer or tablet, but that you can also come to the Carroll Center and attend our independent living program. And I know there's a great need by people who are just trying to live independently and maintain their independence and stay in their home environment. Independent living skills is critical. The funding allows you to come to the Carroll Center for a part-time program or a full-time program from anywhere from 2 weeks to 12 weeks and attend classes with our other students and participate in training in orientation and mobility, daily living skills like cooking and personal care, organization and labeling, counseling, individualized counseling and group counseling, help with managing your health needs, technology, basic technology and advanced technology, what we call kind of information access, from using apps to accessing information through the computer or through your phone or tablet to maintain independence. It includes classes in our sensory and manual arts, our sensory development program, and overall just being with other people who are experiencing vision loss and learning from each other, as well as from our professional staff and mentors. So we've seen many students come through the program, participating at different levels and for different length of programs. And in some cases, some of the individuals have been able to transition back to being a VR client and start to look at work again. So you can be any age. We've had SR clients who are in their 30s and SR clients who are in their 60s, 70s, 80s, who are coming to campus to participate in these programs. You can stay on campus if you need to or want to, but you can also be a day student and just come for the day program and then go home in the evening. So feel free to reach out to me or Kathy.felt@carroll.org, who's our director of missions. Technology training, as David spoke about, is also a critical component for independence, and we're happy to support people with instruction at any device that they're having difficulty with. And this again could be a half day to a full day of training. Maybe you need help on your iPhone or Android phone or using a tablet, or maybe you need more support with skills in using your computer and accessing the internet. So I encourage people to reach out to their counselors or reach out to us if you have questions, and we can kind of help navigate and put a program together for you. Under this earmark funding, we also have funding to serve children under 14 with programs. We just had our Braille Brush Up and Braille Challenge event. We have some other programs coming out this spring, provide Braille instruction for people who just want to learn Braille, and even some limited in-home services for people who live in the greater Boston area. So thank you for being here. Thank you for advocating for this money on your behalf. We appreciate it, and we're happy to serve the needs of the consumers who are blind in Massachusetts.
Thank you very much, Dina. We'll go over to the Lowell Association for the Blind. Elizabeth Cannon, tell us about the program.
Thank you, Commissioner, Deputy Commissioner Oliveira, and thank you to the MCB staff for arranging this information session. My name again is Elizabeth Cannon, and I'm the Executive Director here at Lowell Association for the Blind. We're located in downtown Lowell and serve the Merrimack Valley, which includes the Lowell, Lawrence, and Haverhill areas. We are happy to be able to offer a variety of technology training, including JAWS and Zoom text. We have a computer lab area with all of the necessary assistive technology to assist you with your learning. We also can provide keyboarding, word processing, email, as well as internet access training on those computers. We also have opportunities to assist with iPads and iPhones. If you are struggling with any of those devices, we have a number of iPads at our office. If you're looking to try one out and get some training to see if you think it's something that might be helpful for you, we're happy to work with you while using the equipment that we have here at the office. Our offices are located in downtown Lowell, and we're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we'd be happy to schedule a time and training that's convenient for you. If you have questions about Lowell Association for the Blind or the services available, or if we can help you with the technology that you're working on, give us a call. Our number is 978-454-5704. Again, my name's Elizabeth, or you can speak to our Director of Programs, Josh Tahowski, and either one of us would be really happy to talk to you about what it is you're interested in learning. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and great opportunity for the folks in the North Shore there to get out and get some of those programs. We'll go on to the Mass Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired, and Amy Rule is here to talk about the opportunities there.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, Amy, we have you.
Great. Thanks very much for this opportunity. My name is Amy Rule. I am the Director of Social Services at the Massachusetts Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. And I'm so glad we've had such a great turnout and participation. Some of you may know me from my other roles. I have been an advocate and strongly advocated for the inclusion of this earmark monies because I realize how important it is, particularly for seniors, to learn about how the technology can be helpful to them and to obtain services that are not always as available to this population. And I am myself a tremendous advocate for technology. I was the former president of VIBUG, the computer group in Boston for blind users, for almost 20 years. And so I myself have experienced the magic of using technology to further my independence. And I encourage all of you to try to do the same. The Mass Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired is located in Brookline, Massachusetts, but we have a number of services that we provide throughout the state. In terms of our technology services, we are in the process of establishing and have established training centers in several communities. I won't name them all, but Worcester, Springfield, Brookline. We're going to be having one on the North Shore. So that enables our professionally trained and primarily visually impaired trainers to provide in-person instruction when COVID doesn't interfere. We also have Zoom classes. We provide individual and group instruction. We do provide instruction remotely. Sometimes that's not the easiest, but we have been successful in doing that. And we provide instruction on iPhones, Android, iPads, Zoom Text, JAWS, any of those AT programs. And Also, just for some additional quick information, we also, under this earmark, provide 2 additional services. One is OT, vision rehabilitation services, where once your insurance has been used for OT services, we then can provide additional OT training under this earmark, in which we have trained occupational therapists with vision rehabilitation experience who can come into your home, talk with you about safety, lighting, to help you understand some of your technology, provide you with some suggestions about devices that might be helpful to you. And again, that's of no cost to you. And the training, the AT training, the assistive technology training also is of no cost. And the last program I'll mention just briefly is that we have adjustment to blindness counseling program. You know, for many people, adjustment to blindness can be difficult and can provide a challenge, particularly because many people don't know about the resources and don't know about the ways in which blind people and visually impaired people can be successful. And so what we try to do for those people who are struggling with that is to provide them with an opportunity to meet one-on-one with a clinician who has lived experience as a visually impaired person and who can both help them to work through the many emotions associated with vision loss, and also to give hope and resources. And I would say probably one of the hallmarks of all of our programs, because we have others as well, but all of our programs, is that we try to make sure that people who come to us can have the opportunity to be involved with and work with people who have lived experience with visual impairment and blindness. And if any of you has any questions or wants to speak with me, I'm happy to talk with you. Contact your counselors. If you don't know who your counselor is and you're having problems identifying them, I'm happy to try to assist with this. Again, my name is Amy Rule. My number is 857-262-1993. That's 857-262-1993. And my email address is arul@mabcommunity.org. And I appreciate your time and attention. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amy. And we'll go next to the POLUS Center for Social and Economic Development, Teresa Kane.
Hello, and thank you for having us, and thank you again for those who advocated for these funds to be able to do these additional programs. I'm Teresa Kane, the Executive Director of U.S. Programs for the POLUS Center for Social and Economic Development. We are based in Central Massachusetts, but many of our programs are offered virtually or throughout the state. So I'd like to talk about 5 offerings that we have as a result of these funds. The first one is actually starting next week. So there is a deadline of this Friday if you're interested. So I hope that people who are on this call can get back in touch with us about this one. It's called Daily Living Toolbox. It is a series of workshops, 6 workshops offered every other week. And on the off week, you have the opportunity to have one-on-one support with one or two of the 2 trainers. And it really is for tips and techniques for technology apps. So it's not a basic skills. We assume that you know the basic skills of your assistive technology, but it's really tips and support for optimizing the use of the apps and technology like smart home technology and sighted services It is really a customized program, so it's really whatever the participants have on their mind and they need some help with. And again, we'll offer a session once a week, every other week for last 12 weeks in all. Every other week is a group session, and every other week you get an opportunity to get one-on-one support. So again, it begins on February 23rd. It is virtual, and the deadline to register for this program is this Friday, February 18th. The next one is not technology based at all. So if people are ready for a break and get out, and it's spring and you can finally get out and socialize and enjoy your communities. We actually called it Nights Out, but we chose 2 matinees. So it's really an afternoon out. So we are offering 2 trips to audio described theater performances in the Boston area. April 10th, we're going to see To Kill a Mockingbird, and on June 18th, we're going to see the play 1776. So this includes the audio described performance. Hopefully, if we can pull it off, a backstage tour before the performance and a meal with the people that you go to the theater with. So hope that people will take advantage of this springtime opportunity, spring and early summer opportunity. We are enrolling now for those 2 performances. Staying in the theme of theater and social activities, we are offering a theater camp for youth age 9 to 13 in Western Mass. It'll be in Northampton. And this is an outstanding opportunity. We have professionals from the Huntington Theater who will be facilitating 6 Saturday morning workshops. Again, it is, and they begin on April 30th. So we are actually doing parent overviews now. So if anyone knows children or knows parents have children that might be interested in this, we are, I can let you know when the next parent information session is. Finally, we have 2 additional virtual events. One is a panel discussion, bringing together members of the blindness community to talk about strategies and resources and sharing what they know with each other. That will be in late April. We are planning that now and designing it. Anyone who might be interested in helping us with the design of that or give us ideas of speakers, or maybe you want to be a speaker yourself, encourage you to get in touch with us now as we're in the planning stages, and we'll send out more information when the date is set and the speakers are identified. And finally, we have a 3-part money management series, seminar series that will begin in May. It too will be virtual. And we are, again, in the design phases of this, but we are working with some local bankers who offer some of this training on budgeting and credit scores. We also will be having speakers on things like the ABLE savings accounts and benefits planning, et cetera. So a 3-part money management virtual seminar series will begin in May. And again, more information will be coming out about that. But again, if anyone is interested in helping with the planning for that, we always appreciate input from people who might attend later. My contact information, and I think Carl is putting it in the chat. Again, my name is Teresa Kane with an H, T-K-A-N-E at POLUS Center, P-O-L-U-S Center.org. And my phone number is 978-270-2457. And anyone interested in any of these programs, get in touch with me and I'll forward it to the people who are running the programs. Again, if you're interested in that individualized, customized program, I really encourage you to get in touch in the next couple of days because it does start next week.
Hi, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Can I get the phone number again? Because there are a few that I was interested in, and I'm pretty sure you're the person I need to talk to.
Okay.
My name is Ashley. Sorry
Okay.
for interrupting.
No, that's okay. It's 978-270-2457.
Thank you, Teresa. And we'll go to Scott Cook from New England Low Vision and Blindness. Scott.
All right, John. Thank you, Deputy Commissioner Oliveira, for having us today. So I wanted to let you all know about a little of what we do by telling you 2 quick stories. In short, our services are providing technology and training at your home. So the two people that came to mind were, one is our Nana, and she is someone who is a professional woman, a very distinguished career as an educator. And when she retired, she didn't really know how to engage with technology. And so she was using a PC throughout her career, and she wanted to get into the iPad, but she didn't know anything about it. She didn't know how to touch the iPad. She always used her fingernail. She didn't know how to tweeze. She didn't know what we were talking about when we said the word tweeze. She didn't know how to pinch. She didn't know anything. All she kept hearing was her friends were sending pictures, they were texting, they were using it to watch TV, and they were doing all of the things that she wanted to do, that she kind of did on her computer at work when she was working, that she now wanted to do on the iPad. So the family got together and we started our training with her by introducing the game tic-tac-toe that we all know, and just having her play with the game tic-tac-toe. She understood then how to do the different things at her own pace. And I find that my mother-in-law, our Nana, is really reflective of a lot of people that we see. They have very distinguished careers, but they are, to a degree, they don't have a lot of experience with technology, and that's where we come in. So we start at the very basics and just teach people the very basics if that's where they're at. And then we work into some other things and with Nana regarding smart homes. So many people are wondering about smart homes, and I'm going to say her name once and she's going to wake up, I'm sure, at everyone's house or office, Alexa, and now I'm going to refer to her as Lady A. So as Nana got older, we were wondering, she was living alone, and we were wondering if she could, if she was going to fall down, if she was safe. And so we would call her quite frequently every night, and often her phone was a busy signal. And so she would forget to hang it up all the way. So we got her Lady A, and we introduced this feature called drop-in. And so we would say, Lady A, drop in on Nana when her signal was busy. And most of the time, I would say the 10 times or so that we did it, eight of the 10 times, she was fine. She just forgot to hang up the phone, and we would say, Nana, hang up your phone. Oh, I didn't know it was off the hook. And so she hung it up. But 2 of the times she did fall down. And it was really helpful to her and to us to try to get her help and to console her, because she could talk from where she was just by talking through this intercom system using Lady A. So those 2 stories we tell quite a bit, because they kind of open a senior's mind. Most of the people that we serve are seniors in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, and having very little experience with technology. The second story, really quick, is my own mother, who's very reflective of a lot of people using technology. She gets very frustrated by it and just needs to know little tips and tricks. And I told her one thing. She uses a PC. So I said, hold down the Windows icon on your keyboard and then tap the plus key, and that will make your screen bigger. Well, you would have thought I gave her 5 gold bars. That was such a relief to her. She loved that. And then to make it bigger and smaller. So those are some of the things that we do with smart homes, with iPads and iPhones, with PCs and Macs. We train people where they're at. We're very goal oriented. So the conversation will really start on what is it that's important to you. Do you want to learn how to send an email? Do you want to learn how to send a text? Do you want to learn how to connect to the internet? Do you want to send pictures back and forth? Whatever it might be, we have this conversation with the MCB counselor and with the end user client and develop a program. Then we drive out to your home. We go anywhere in the Commonwealth. So we've been way up to Provincetown, all points of the Cape, anywhere in the Boston area, and of course out to Western Mass as far as Pittsfield, to the edge of the Massachusetts-New York border. So it's nice to be able to go right into the home. We have a team of about 8 or 9 trainers that will provide this service. And in addition to the iPad and the iPhone, then it's all things. So I'll just name most of them, the Android, PC, Mac, any OCR device, and a lot of the apps, people are familiar with the app called Seeing AI. Most people don't know what Seeing AI is, and so we're going to go over that, and as well as a lot of the leading apps, depending upon what the goals are. We go over all of the accessibility functionality, or we can, based upon what you want to do, of the PC, of the Mac, of your iPhone, of VoiceOver, of the magnifier within your iPhone. We also can provide training on any of the video magnifiers or CCTVs. A lot of people are not getting a lot of functionality we're finding out of their video magnifiers and CCTVs. So we'll go over things like how to read with it, how to use the XY table, how to write with it, different tricks and tips, how to use the OCR functionality, how to interface with the screen, whether it's with a finger or with a tactile interface. And we'll also train on things like JAWS and Zoom Text and Fusion. And so whatever the technology need is, that's where we come in. And we provide that service right in your home. So we do have the ability to have the training at our location here in Worcester, but a lot of people we find prefer it right in their home. And generally we're there about 2 hours of time. So it's a very comfortable and also very functional time spent with the person in their home, meeting them where they're at with the need that they want to solve with technology. So we're very fortunate to MCB and the funding that's being provided. And if you want to get in contact with us at New England Low Vision and Blindness, please contact MCB and your counselor, and then they get in contact with us. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Scott. And as you see from our vendor pool, that you can receive services in virtual and in person, and center-based, and at your home and virtually. So that was the intent when we were looking for vendors to provide as many options to consumers as possible. So we'll go a little bit over now to our Director of Assistive Technology, Alexander Pooler, and he'll give you a bit of an overview, and then we'll come back and answer some frequently asked questions. Alexander?
Thank you very much, John. So I'm Alexander Pooler. I'm the Director of Assistive Technology here at the Massachusetts Commission for the Blind. And as you and your case manager identify tasks and goals that you'd like to complete, you may be contacted by MCPU support services such as Rehab Teaching, Orientation Mobility, or my unit, Assistive Technology. AT works to find technology-based solutions to address some of the challenges that you may face, that you come, and this comes across in a variety of different forms. It could be training, deployment of hardware or software. We have a staff that is based in different geographic regions across the Commonwealth that work with your case manager to facilitate successful completion of your SR goals. Our staff members are William Hirsch in Western Mass, Brendan Finn in Central Mass, James Verrill, North Shore, Merrimack Valley, and generally 128 up to the New Hampshire line, Frank Ventura in the core 128 suburbs of Metro West, Margaret Gaffney, South Shore, Cape and Islands, and Dennis Avery serving the majority of the core Boston area. We also have a help desk that you can call in with questions, some light troubleshooting, and common advice. Richard Flint handles that, and you can reach him at 617-626-7401. Now, how do you get AT services? To get services from the Assistive Technology Unit, we have to have a referral from your case manager. So you're going to have to start with having a conversation with your case manager about some of the challenges and needs that you may have. And we can start working with you maybe over the phone to maybe identify some ideas about where we're going to go. But step one really is to have a conversation with your case manager so we can get a referral sent over to the AT unit. And when you work with your case manager to establish achievable goals where technology may play a role, we'll get involved and work with you. We do have AT to support some of the center-based training that we're starting to do right now. For computer training, we do have technology available for that as well. But we are running an issue that is very commonplace, and unfortunately, a lot of us are running into when it comes to getting technology like computers into our hands. If you have needed for computer training and you already have a computer, we're going to ask that you continue to use and continue working on the computer that you already have. As you may have heard in the news, due to complications caused by COVID, we have a number of issues that we're dealing with on supply chain and attaining computer technology. This ranges everything from laptops, desktops, iPads, really anything that has a processor inside of it. Turnaround time for a lot of these orders prior to March 2020 may have been about 10 days, but since then it's gone to weeks, sometimes even months before we're able to get some technologies in our hands. We're making every effort and working with our suppliers to obtain technology from a variety of sources, while also maintaining the quality of our options that we are able to procure. So we do ask for your patience in working with us. There may be a while before we're able to start your training, and that's not necessarily our desire. It's just this what we're trying to deal with. But we may have to wait sometimes to get you started up until your technology arrives. That's why I said earlier, if you have a computer already or something that's able to use, we're going to ask you to try to utilize that technology first and foremost, and we're going to prioritize along those lines. One area that we do get a lot of questions about is adaptive software. This would be Zoom Text, JAWS, and Fusion. We do have it available from MCB for deployment on supported computer systems. If you have an adaptive software need, you can have a conversation with your assigned AT specialist, the gentleman I met in our gap mentioned earlier, or you may want to go ahead and start talking with your case manager in case a referral is also needed. Last thing I want to hit on a little bit is what we kind of look for and identify when it comes to your technology needs. We really work with trying to identify the things that you need, and maybe not necessarily always the things that you're going to want. As with any program in the Commonwealth, we have a budget we have to work with. And that means that we need to identify a technology that has a positive impact. We're going to do what we can to obtain that technology for you to help you out with achieving your goals. But we have to be very clear about trying to identify the things that are going to help you as a need versus things that are a want. An example of that would be is what I'm about to put on my head right now. These very, very fashionable glasses. This is a wearable technology, and this helps provide video magnification, both near and distance viewing. This is a very new, very hot technology. This is kind of the in thing right now for AT. There's a lot of things that's able to do, but in terms of core functions, if you just need to be able to do spot reading, you need to be able to read a menu, a document. If you're at a restaurant and you just need to see, something a little more clearly that's in front of you, that's a technology that is really going to be doing a lot more than what it is you need to have. What you really probably going to need to have is something like this. And this is just our standard handheld video magnifier. This is a device that is from a company called Eschenbach. And I'm looking through the screen here. Of course, it's not coming through very clearly. But this is a technology that is designed for spot reading. It's designed for reading documents. And again, if you're at a grocery store, you can read something maybe off a shelf. This is going to work probably a lot easier than maybe something like that. So when we're working with you, you may bring technology to our attention that you're interested in. We're going to do what we can to get you that technology. If it's something that's going to help with your positive case closure, but we're really going to be stressing and looking for, is it really a need that you have to achieve and overcome the obstacles you're running into? Or is it something that is going to do a lot more than that? Technology does a lot of great things, and we're able to work with that. But again, we want to make sure we're getting the right technology for you. And last but not least, don't worry if you get to a point where you feel like you can't necessarily adapt to and use the latest technology. There's a lot of things that are out there that even myself that I don't necessarily use probably as much as I should. So I'll give you an example. This here, I'm getting ready to hold up to the screen here. This is a CD. And I think for most kids today, they have probably no clue what these are. This is REM. And this is my preferred method of listening to music. And it is antiquated. And considering the fact that I'm a technology director, I probably should be doing something a little bit more advanced. But this is what I'm used to. But it doesn't mean there's not something out there that might be a little bit better if I'm more comfortable utilizing that. So I'll give you an example. Alexa, play REM.
Here's some music by REM on Amazon Music.
That was a quick, easy way to be able to pull up some music from REM. We have other technology available here, such as Amazon Echoes. Scott Krug at England Low Vision just talked a little bit about smart home technology. We have other technology that's out there. And sometimes if you just give it a little bit of chance, work with it on a very small level, you might get more comfortable with technology and find some additional uses for that. So again, don't be afraid if you're very, very used to using something that's in the past or an older technology, but keep your minds open to newer technology that might make it a little easier and make it a little quicker for you to access the information you're looking for. So thank you guys very much. Really appreciate it. And John, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, Alexander. And lots of demonstrations there. And sometimes, as Alexander says, we We work with you to try to get you the technology that does what you need to do, not something that does more than what you need. And it is a great opportunity to work with our folks. Anyone who's unmuted, please mute yourself. Okay, that would keep everything peaceful here and non-distracting. So next part of the program is frequently asked questions. So these are questions that come in to our MCB info quite often. So we took a couple of these questions here that we'll touch on right now. So what is social rehabilitation for MCB and MCB services, and who's eligible? So you've been hearing a lot about this today. So social rehabilitation services covers birth to 13, and then 14, anyone from 14 to, you know, we have clients that are 102 or whatever, that are not interested or able to work. So it's a large percentage of our consumer base at MCB. And so a majority of you would be eligible if you fall within that category I just mentioned, would be eligible to receive some services. Now, as far as receiving equipment, there is a financial test or financial criteria that your case manager will go through with you as part of the application for social rehab services. So there is no financial restrictions for training. You can get that as much as you want, as long as there's funding, and we have plenty of funding, you can get the training. So if you have the equipment and you want training on it, if someone bought it for you, gave it to you as a gift, if you bought it yourself and you want to brush up on it, you know how to use it to some extent, but you want to extend more, then this is all eligible for that. So any other products that we would have to buy for you would be subject to your Title 20 eligibility. And we won't get into that. That's for your case manager, social worker to discuss with you. And they have the questions and forms they need to complete with you to make sure that you're appropriate in a financial sense to receive products from MCB. So, you know, why is assistive technology training important for individuals who receive SR services? Obviously, quality of life. You and I, as a technology user, know that we can do many more things independently if we are able to use technology. So that is what this is all about. It's to allow, you know, not just technology. So SR services also let you get mobility training and get you rehabilitation teaching. I'm not trying to undermine that at all. Rehabilitation teaching is extremely important to help keep you independent and functioning in your apartment and whatever setting you have. So it definitely is a service that you should take advantage of. We're talking about technology here today. Carroll Center mentioned some independent living services that are offered at the center-based training, but our vision rehab teachers come to your home and they can work with you on many areas, cooking and cleaning and many of the personal management areas, and they can provide you that assistance. So if you're having any challenges as far as cooking, I mean, our teachers may be able to work with you on that, or you may choose to take the more intensive program over at the Carroll Center and learn some of these skills so that you can function independently. And, you know, what types of equipment and software are provided? Well, Alexander just gave you a brief rundown of those. And so the best thing to do is to reach out to your case manager, have your case activated. Some people call it opening and closing. I'll call it activating your case, because once you're registered with MCB, you're here with us, and you can come back on SR services. You can come back anytime you need to come back. If you receive a service this year and that's all you need, that's all you're going to get. And then a year from now or a month from now, you can call us back and say, hey, I have my vision's changed. I've just moved. Whatever you need, we will come out and work with you again and provide you those specific skills and training that you have a need for. So that's that's one of the areas that we work well. So, utilize SR services here at MCB, call your case manager. And some of you may say, well, I haven't worked with MCB in a number of years. Who's my case manager? Well, again, if you haven't moved and you're still in the same area, maybe some of those individuals are still here, but if they're not, you basically will contact the regional director, and the regional director will get to you to the right person. You can also call our number, or go to MCB info and ask, go to our website and just send a question through. Just tell us what town you live in, and we'll be able to tell you who covers your area. We'll have someone reach back out to you. So there's no need to worry about activating your case. Our case managers work very diligently in today's work setting. We can open you. We don't have to come out to your home if you're not comfortable with that. Or you don't want us to do that. You just want to call us on the telephone. We can use Zoom, whatever works for you, and we can activate, do any paperwork you need right over the phone, collect any data. We can use, we'll mail you any documents you need to sign, and if you can get it back to us, or we can, the worker can bring the documents over to you. We're seeing people in person. So it's all your choice right now. And if you want to continue to work with us, it's whatever way works for you. We're here to provide you assistance. And I think that's pretty much it for me on these questions. We'll go over to Thelma Williams. She has some other questions that have been sent in to us, and we'll go over to Thelma and answer some of those questions.
Okay, thank you, John. And again, welcome everyone. I just want to remind everyone who may have come in late that this event will be recorded, posted, and shared at MCB's website, where you'll also find contact information. So as stated before, my name is Thelma Williams. I'm the Regional Director for Region 3, which is the Northeast area. I'm going to share some questions that came in advance from our MCB website with John. And if time permits, I'll try to address some questions that came in the chat as well. So without further ado, here's the first question. Are these services available to VR staff as well? And I think John touched upon that a little bit, but he might want to say a little bit more about that.
So the services we're talking about here today focus on SR because we're talking about the earmarks, the additional funding that we received from the legislators. But VR is definitely, any of these services are available. You will talk to your vocational counselor, and depending if it's in your plan, you have to have a goal for employment to be in VR services, and services to help you get to that goal are placed in your plan for employment. So yes, many of these services would be part of someone's plan for employment, assistive technology, obviously, but you definitely have to have an employment goal. So I don't really want to go, that's a whole different area. But we're focusing on SR services because that's an area of focus that the earmarks wanted us to focus on here at MCB.
Thank you, John. I hope that answered the question, the person who asked. The next question is, I am an MCB member, and I am curious as to why there appears to be an assistive digital technology funding limits for SR different than VR. There are crossover needs for both groups.
So on vocational, I'll take that. On vocational rehabilitation, our goal is to bring the consumer to employment. And sometimes that requires a substantial amount of modifications to a job site. It may involve scripting, it may involve lots of different technologies to allow that person to gain employment. So the Vocational Act and the RSA who administers voc rehab out of Washington, that's their objective. So that it's a different threshold altogether. There's a lot of training services that are available, such as college and other certificate programs and other vocational type programs available to those consumers. So there is a smaller group at MCB that we serve with vocational dollars than with SR dollars. It's a much substantial larger pool of consumers here at MCB. So again, I don't want to get too much into VR because the focus is all about SR. We're focusing on this portion and this session, and you can reach out to your vocational counselor, reach out to the agency, and who knows, we can do a session on vocational services in the future if that's if need be. Velma.
Thank you, John. The next question, I would like to know more about both shopping support, like are there people to help shop if I want assistance, and some home tech devices for cooking. So at this time, I'd also like to ask our partners, if I ask any questions that are specific to your programs, feel free to jump in and answer.
Hi, this is Amy from the Mass Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. I didn't hear the second part of the question, but the first part, if you are interested in getting some assistance with shopping, we do have at MAVB, we do have a volunteer program where we try to match one-on-one volunteers with consumers to help them one time per week or perhaps once every other week to do specific tasks like assist with shopping. And again, if you are in need of that service, we can't always provide a volunteer. It depends upon whether volunteers are available. So sometimes it does take some time to make a match, but we do our best. And if you're interested in that program, feel free to contact me.
Thank you. And I can repeat the second part of that question if you'd like. The person is asking if there are some home tech devices for cooking. If anybody wants to jump in and answer that.
Hi, this is Jennifer Harnish from the Carroll Center. And there are definitely home devices for cooking, whether it's using apps on your smartphone or using pouring devices that let you know when you're near the top of your cup. There's low tech, high tech, really a range of options. And that's something we can teach at the Carroll Center. Regarding the question about shopping, although we don't take people shopping or have volunteers to do that, what we do is teach a whole host of the methods for shopping. For example, how to use a personal shopper who's working at the store, how to use a landline phone to actually make a call to a grocery store, how do you organize your list, how do you use various apps and websites. So what we would teach would certainly depend on the skills that you have, the devices that you use.
Thank you. The next question, are there resources for exercises like running or going to the gym?
This is Amy again. We do have some volunteers who will, weather permitting, of course, who will accompany a person to the gym or, help someone to take a walk. That is not a service that is most often provided, but if someone requests it, we do try to provide it when possible. And also, by the way, there are lots of exercises that can be done, and I happen to have a resource of recorded exercises that were done by an organization of people who are blind who provided a lot of different exercises that can be done and with good descriptions so that you would know how to do them, and they range in terms of complexity. And if anybody is interested in obtaining that information, please email me and I'm happy to send it to you.
Thank you. That sounds very interesting. Anyone else want to add to that?
David
Okay.
Kingsbury, do you have anything to add to that? Maybe David's not here. So I'm aware that ACB has, on their program with a lot of virtual programming they offer. They do have some exercise programs on there, so you can do that in the comfort of your home while watching it on Zoom, listening and watching it on Zoom. And so that's another source that if someone is looking for exercises, might be able to do something in their own home.
Thank you, John. And again, if anyone missed that, this event will be recorded, and this information will be available on our website. So the next question is, are there any AT programs for individuals who are deafblind?
So yes, of course, Helen Keller has some opportunities there. We could use these funds, or we have plenty of funding in our DBES unit, Deafblind Extended Supports Unit, to take care of that. So if you're interested in that, again, contact your DBES counselor, case manager. If you don't know who they are, Leslie Baker Johnson is our director. Reach out to her here at the agency and via our website, and we'll definitely put you in touch with any programs that the Helen Keller offers.
Thank you, John. So that's it for the advanced questions asked in advance. I do have some in the chat that I will ask. Hello, I was interested in taking training at the Carroll Center. However, I had asked about receiving training over remotely because of COVID. Sorry, I just need to scroll up here. Because of travel constraints. I was told that the situation will be looked into. However, no one got back to me. I'm looking to strengthen my skills. Is it possible to...
We have a Carroll Center representative here.
Okay.
Yes, this is Jennifer Harnish from the individual to contact either admissions, carroll.org, and you would be connected with Kathy Felt. Able to reach her, to reach out to me, and I'm at jennifer.harnish at carroll.org. And I can get you connected with her.
Also reach out to MCB and have their counselor, their case manager facilitate the referral.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
And I'm seeing that there are quite a few questions about the POLUS Center. So Teresa, would you want to come back on and talk a little bit more about your programs, reiterate them?
Okay, is the question about POLUS Center in general or about the programs that I reviewed from this funding?
Let me go back to the chat. I think in general, if you could just go over them again briefly.
Okay.
From what I can
Sure.
gather here.
So it really related to the last question about virtual technology training. We do have a program that's starting next week that is all virtual, all online, all through Zoom. And 1 week it will be a group session, and the following week it will be one-on-one support. And it is on a range of different technologies and different organizational skills and apps, and really whatever can helping you optimize your skills in different technologies and software. That begins next week. And again, it's very customized to what the users need. So that's the first one that's related to technology. The second is a day out, an afternoon out. We have 2 audio described theater performances that we are hosting in Boston and Cambridge. One is on April 10th, To Kill a Mockingbird, and the second one is on June 18th, 1776. And someone actually emailed me and asked, can people bring someone with them? Absolutely. We encourage that. We think that is a great idea. This is funded through this funding for the person who's supported by MCB, but we also do have funds in our budget to have helpers, and we can either provide that or potentially people who are coming might have someone that they want to bring themselves. We are enrolling for that now, even though the performances aren't until April and June. So if you're interested, we'd like to talk to you then. The other question that I heard about that was, is transportation provided? And the answer is no. People will be meeting at the theater, but we will be dining at a restaurant within walking distance of the theater. So that's the answer to that one. For youth, and I don't think there are a lot of parents or youth on this call, but one of the programs that we are offering and is in Northampton, so it's in Western Mass part of the state. It will be 6 Saturday mornings, and it is being led by 2 professionals from Huntington Theater. We're calling it Theater Camp, but it's 6 Saturday mornings, and it's for children age 9 to 13. The next one is a panel discussion that we are pulling together with members of the blindness community to talk about resources and strategies, and we are developing that now. It will be offered in late April, but we're looking for people who are interested in helping us design and recommendations for speakers. And finally, the last one is a 3-part money management program seminar series that will begin in May. And that will cover things like budgeting and credit scores and ABLE savings accounts and benefits planning. Really, we are designing that now to be information that is of most interest to people. We are actually going to do a survey to see what's of most interest. So that's happening in May. And those are 5 of the programs that we're offering through these funds. POLUS Center has been working with MCB for the last 5 or 6 years, mostly on VR. We do employment services and internship programs, and we also do PREETs, which is for the pre-employment services for transition age youth.
We have to get back on topic though, Teresa. So.
Okay, that's it. She said also give a overview. I thought people might just not know who POLUS is.
Okay, thank you. Thelma, any questions?
Yes, I have another one. I have a 7-year-old child who is both blind and autistic. I am interested to learn what kind of learning devices can be used to support his learning in his classroom right now. He is also using a video magnifier for some, let me scroll down, it wasn't completed. Oh, okay, there we go. Materials, but still has a lot of challenges. Could you give me some recommendations on the assistance technology? Thank you.
So that's a very specific question on a particular case. I'd like to take that offline. We'll reach out to you and talk to you about what your school is doing and what your child has already. But anything I can give you would be very general without knowing your child and the capacities and the abilities to do different things. We'd just be throwing names out. So let's hold on to that question for our team back at the office can manage that question. We'll reach out, and if you want to send us your name, just send it over and your child's name. Only the folks running behind the scenes will see it, and we'll have someone reach out to you from the agency.
Okay. I don't know if there are any other questions. I'm looking through the chat. There are some hands that are raised. I guess we could respond to those.
We got about 5 minutes. We can take a couple of raised hands, but
Hi, my name is Philip Wilhelm, and I just have one quick question. Basically, is there any benefits for like the Peter Pan bus or the Plymouth from Brockton bus?
Okay, so you're talking about travel benefits. This is not the topic.
Correct.
Right now. Yeah, that's not the topic right now, but the best, I'm not aware of any for Peter Pan, but that doesn't mean that there isn't. So why don't you reach out to our mobility instructor. Have you called the companies yourself?
Yes, and I have, and basically they said I should reach out to you guys.
Okay, so why don't you call Allie Bull, our mobility director here at the agency, and we'll check those out. We haven't heard of any benefits, But if they refer you back to us, I think they're thinking about the MBTA, where the Charlie card, people can ride for free.
Yeah, I have that. I have that benefit as well as the ferry that goes to Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket.
Exactly. Those are all part of it. If Peter Pan wanted to, they could honor that Charlie card, but that's a whole different topic.
Okay.
But reach out to Allie Bull here at the agency. You can reach her through our website or through our main number. And we'll do a little research for you, okay?
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, we don't have much time left, but I'm gonna try to address the hands that are raised and the order in which they were raised. The first person is Debbie M.
Yeah, I just had a question for people that are not quite legally blind yet. Someone reached out to me knowing that I was active in the organization and wanted to know how, if any of these services you've discussed today are accessible, because you always say refer to your counselor, which means you have to be declared blind and then gotten into MCB, to people who are really just on the cusp. And
so for MCB to pay for the services, you do have to be legally blind. But I'd like to go to our vendors and see if they have MAPV, if you're Amy.
Yeah, we actually, MAPV does provide services to people who are visually impaired but not yet legally blind. So our programs are all available to those people as well as MAPV consumers.
In that case, you'd reach directly out to MAPV if you're visually impaired and not a consumer of MCB, and they would work with you on that issue. Any other vendors would like to speak up on that?
Yeah, same for Carroll Center, but you may have to privately pay for them. But we do also work with clients from MRC if they're an MRC client, but not MCB.
Lab also, Lowell Association for the Blind, if they're in our area, we do provide some services available. If they could contact us and just let us know what they're looking for, we're happy to work with folks.
And for New England Low Vision and Blindness, it happens all the time. Just contact us. Search New England Low Vision and Blindness. You'll see our number. And it begins with a conversation. It's a pretty substantial conversation that takes about 20 to 40 minutes, and we can just identify the exact needs and then go from there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So we have 4 minutes left, and I'm going to take one more question. Loretta Porter.
Yes, hi. I was trying to get it before you cut off before. I want to find out the name, catch the name or phone number for the gentleman that spoke before the last, before the last, that was mentioning about coming to people's houses and doing all these things, checking out CCTVs and things like that. That was not clear as to who he was.
That would be
Scott Krug.
Yes. Hi, my name is Scott Krug, and last name is spelled K-R-U-G. And I'm the president of New England Low Vision and Blindness. So you can reach out to us directly. And if it involves MCB, then we will partner with them to just make sure that we're.
Well, I don't know, how do I reach out to you?
Sure, 2 ways. One is our toll-free number, which is 888-211. 6933.
6933.
And the email is info. Info is our best email because the whole team sees it. So it's info, I-N-F-O @NE for abbreviation for New England, NELowvision.com.
Phone numbers again, just make sure I have it right. And now I lost my place. Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. It's
888-211. 6933.
All right, and your name is Scott.
I'm Scott.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Name Scott. Okay. All right, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Hi, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt, but I had my hand raised for a while. I just wanted to know if I can ask more about your other programs that you guys didn't mention, like the vending program.
That's not for this. Do you have a counselor at the agency?
I do, but I guess they're not willing to you know, let me know. I've been asking about this since 2013.
So what's your name again?
My name is Ashley.
Okay, Ashley, I'll give me the first letter of your last name.
The first letter?
Of your last name.
Oh, S.
Okay, so let me reach out to them. I can look you up here, and we'll reach out to you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Ashley. All right, go ahead.
Excuse me, can the host answer my question in chat? I know I was joining late. I overslept. I just asked a couple of questions.
Okay, we really running on time. We have to go.
How about answering it via email?
Yes, so they have your text questions. We will. This is going to be posted. You can listen to it on rebroadcast on your through your your computer. But we'll try to look for those questions. And
can you guys send me the link to the rebroadcast?
yeah, are you able to take it on text chat?
Yeah, if I can screen capture it. Hold on a second.
All right.
Okay, I can.
Carl, if you can send. We don't have the actual link yet because the show we're still recording it here. But we'll send you the link to the MCB website, and then you can look for it there. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So we really have to go because we're going to lose connection pretty soon. We're running against time here. So guys, thank you all for joining us. And Thelma,
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and you have a good day.
All right, you too.
Bye. Thank you.
Oh, I will. Thank you.
Again soon. Have a great day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.